Some people I make up claim that I make drastically different videos because I'm trying to find something to stick on YouTube. But clearly with my consistency, that's not the case. I'm not going anywhere. I'm making these videos for fun, and I like lots of different topics. That being said, have you heard of cassette beasts?
Right. Oh, no, you won't dare stop and stare again. Your fingers and toes.
On the heel of the Scarlet and Violet DLC, my friend finally got me to play Cassette Beasts. I was a little hesitant at first because most RPGs that try to copy Pokemon end up falling flat. He insisted it was a good game despite any Poke comparisons and that I should hop on regardless. So I ended up playing the game. And what did I think? Well, let me show you.
Pack your bags and say goodnight.
Yeah, I fucking love this game, and I'm going to talk about it. In this video, I'll make some direct comparisons to the recent Pokemon games, only to highlight better what Cassette Beasts knocks out of the park. This isn't a review or a summary, more of my love letter to the devs at Bitten Studio. When reading the retrospective posted by one of the devs on Steam, it is plain to see a lot of thought and care went into making this game. I love playing games with heart, and I could tell immediately this game had a lot of it. Or maybe my bar was set terrestrial after playing Fallout 3 on stream for the past few months.
Yeah.
You just waited for her to just pull
I
up
wanted
to
to
you.
see what she was doing. I didn't realize it was a flamethrower.
I'll link the Steam page and some other great resources in the description. Hopefully I can also show and tell you enough stuff about this game so that you play it for yourself. Now sit down with your funny beverage and check this out. Cassette Beast is about your player character getting isekai'd onto an island called New World. No, I mean New World. You meet up with some surviving humans, some from completely alternate Earths and time periods. The island is inhabited by these hostile beasts, but luckily, the people have found a way to fight back. Using not-so-special cassette players, they're able to record these beasts to transform into them and even the odds of battle. In some cases, fusing with other people's transformations for more powerful potential. You and Kayleigh, yeah, that's her by the way, discover an archangel named Morgante, a powerful extra-dimensional beast who claims they know how to get you home. With no other leads, you and your new friend set out to find a way home, doing fun side quests and training your cassette beasts along the way. Now that sounds like a pretty fun game to me. Maybe nothing too special, a little too Pokemon-like perhaps. Well, I'm wrong! That was all a deceptive ruse of a description. Although what I said was accurate, the gameplay is like a unique amalgamation of tons of different gaming influences and culminate into an enriching and enthralling experience. One that I hope I convince you to play by the end of this video. Let me start by going over...
Are you in need of assistance? I can assist with my fists and...
I'm sure there are a handful of game design terms I could re-look up to better explain this, but the most efficient way I can describe why comparing this game to Pokemon isn't worth the effort is simply this. When you're playing a game like Pokemon, or even when you're playing Pokemon, the whole time you're thinking, oh, this is just like Pokemon, or this is something Pokemon would do. It leaves you without a sense of wonder, like nothing new can happen anymore. When I tell you I stopped thinking that way, 30 seconds into the gameplay of Cassette Beasts, I want that to draw a stern line between the two series in your head. The gameplay is like a well-crafted experience would play like, and my curiosity was fully complete when the game told me it was over, and not before that. Immediately off the title screen, you can tell a few stark improvements to a would-be Pokemon hacker ripoff. The addition of multiple save slots, which every video game should come with in the year of our Lord Arceus 2024, along with actually helpful settings, graphic options, colorblind mode, a speedrun timer, button customization, and oh, what's this? Could it be? Difficulty sliders? Are you insane? In my monster catching game? A way to curtail the monotony of replayability and tweak a gaming experience based on my own perception of skill? I'm stunned, astounded, and beyond thankful. Before getting into the real game, I know from this, the people who made Cassette Beasts know what playing a video game is like. I know that sounded fake coming out of my mouth, but this is actually shocking to me. Think of all the settings in recent years that have been taken out of Pokemon games, and for an indie game to give me more? I was excited. Plus it's either I use that take or I spend another hour recording one paragraph just to sound good for a YouTube short. A neat side note, on keyboard, you can basically play this entire game one-handed. To invoke the wise words of horny Todd Howard,
You never know when you'll need a free hand.
being serious again, this is an amazing accessibility feature along with the colorblind mode, which I would have criticized this game for not having, considering the amount of color-based mechanics going on in battle. Let's actually start the game to see where it goes from here. Looks like we got a super expressive pixel art style. Big fan of all the customization options here. My only complaint might be that you have to be from Earth and I can't roleplay as a funny guy with horns or extra eyes. I'm sure after this I have to go through some long drawn out tutorial explaining the world, and I'm just gonna skip the playing dumb act I was gonna put on for this part. The intro to this game is excellent. It cuts all the fat any new RPG would have to go through, all while being swift and informative. You learn the basics of battle as they happen. Talk to NPCs you need to for useful info, get a great story hook, and you're off to the races. It also succeeds at the challenge to get the player to want to know more. Compared to when you buy a new Pokemon game and you're just waiting for the game to let you do the Pokemon stuff you came here for. You'd think those games will let you start right out of the box, but there has been so much meandering in recent Pokemon games. None of these plots require that much setup, but a new experience like Cassette Beasts does. Yet they still keep it fun, concise, and quick. Not Pikmin 1 quick, mind you. The tutorial simply flows into the full game so seamlessly that once I learned how to fight the funny crab, I didn't realize the game was still technically teaching me how to play. Everything in this game is like that. Your expectations for a copy and paste Pokemon adventure is thrown out the window for a fun new loop that keeps you playing. I don't even need to go into how different the art styles are, how the map is more akin to a 2D Zelda title than a handheld Pokemon one, that there's an actual hub world with useful resources and characters all in one place. Good writing if you can believe that's possible if all you do is play Pokemon every year and nothing else. Interesting partners that join you on your quest. I could go on. Seamless multiplayer. Any parts that you or I might find similar to a Pokemon game are either different enough to not have that thought in the first place, or simply more fun than the latter. It's a completely divergent experience that will become more clear as the video progresses. In fact, here are some other noteworthy reasons by someone who didn't just play this game a month ago.
The indie scene for monster taming games has been heavily shaped by Pokemon. Its popularity far outreaches most other series in the genre, and its focus on younger audiences has led it to become a formative game series for many people. But it's always refreshing to see monster taming games that look beyond Pokemon for inspiration. Cassette Beasts takes inspiration from a wide variety of sources, from Persona 5 to the visuals of Madoka Magica to a dash of philosophy. Cassette Beasts also stands out mechanically from other monster taming series. It places a heavy focus on team building and strategizing, similar to series like Dragon Quest Monsters and Shin Megami Tensei, but it streamlines the process to make it almost effortless to try wildly different team and move compositions without having to spend any time grinding. The developers also clearly learned a lot from their previous game, Lenna's Inception, a 2D Zelda-like, doubling down on the delightful and punny dialogue, refining their approach to area design, and keeping the simple but fun feeling to room puzzles.
Hopefully at this point, Pokefans are mad at me, and fans of Pokemon are excited to hear more. Maybe learn more about the beasts themselves? How do they interact? Are they cute, cool, dynamic? Well, have no fear, my supple viewer. I was just about to go there. The monsters are cooler than a Salaman's and Ice Beam range. The first thing you might notice about my boys like Traffic Crab, Dandelion, and Puppacut is that all the Cassette Beasts' names are puns. This is genius on multiple levels. They're super cute, and it helps me, mainly me, remember the names of 100 plus characters I've never met before. But there's another secret part to that I'll get to later. Something that might overwhelm a new player is a type chart. Lots of RPGs have nice and simple rock, paper, scissors gameplay, but with fire and water and grass, you also got ice and ground and metal and glass and so on and so forth. All those interactions between unfamiliar types, I knew I was nervous, but using super effective moves isn't as important as you might think, and the game doesn't hide it from you. In every mainline Pokemon game, you walk into the grass-type gym and beat some kids with all grass-type Pokemon with your one Mon with a single fire-type move, and then the gym leader is burned to a crisp. End of story. In Cassette Beasts, for one, there is no area or gym considered the grass-type one, and two, fire setting grass ablaze is not the end of the world in a battle. Here's how it works. Here are the types in the game. Effective moves are based on a chemistry-like mindset and don't one-shot their lesser. Instead, they imply different status effects, from burns to lowering accuracy to even changing their type, while using attacks on advantage types give them a buff, like heals or armor, which turns out to be much more engaging than twice the damage, uh-oh, you lose this matchup type of battle. This fuses great with another amazing mechanic. The moves you've been seeing so far are infinitely reusable and semi-transferable resources. Every beast has a type-specific move that they can learn, but they can can be removed, replaced, reattached across your entire lineup. They're called stickers because you put them on the cassettes. I mean, isn't that cute as hell? When your beasts rank up a star, they get new moves and sometimes new slots for more of them. This means you can look at your cassette beast base stats and see what moves they learn and what you already have, and craft a super powerful moveset with all of your captures. And since you get more and more of these stickers throughout the game, that opens up another beautiful game design feature that focuses on progression. Stickers can have these special separate effects depending on a rarity system. So if your wing bloom already has Zephyr attached, but you find an uncommon one with 10% more damage, we'll slap it on that moth. That was kind of a lame example that I could easily rewrite, but I'd rather list a couple other cool attributes instead. My favorites being ones that provide a healing effect after the move, attacks that ignore setup defenses, and my personal favorite, splash damage. This feeds into the action economy of battles. These little squares next to the moves and below your health. Each of your beasts get 2 per round and can be used or saved to perform their moves. I fell in love with this type of battle system when I played Octopath Traveler, and I'm happy to see it applied into a monster catching game. This, coupled with most fights being double battles, combos into a strategical dream. Here are some of my favorite combos to show you what I mean. My Ari Claw here has high melee attack and multiple passive abilities to open a battle with a preemptive strike, hitting multiple times and sometimes knocking out the opponent before the fight has even begun. My Farius has a move with the attribute to add 30% splash damage for every empty move slot they had. I could consistently one-shot both opponents at once with this little guy. It got so bad I had to personally nerf them just so I could experience more of the game. I couldn't get this combo to pop off in recording, but I swear it works because I clowned myself with it during my first playthrough. There's this attack called Gambit that raises all the beast's stats like crazy for 3 turns, but afterwards the tape breaks. When I first encountered it being used against me, I had the genius idea to simply put it to sleep. And here's the cool thing about sleep. In cassette beasts, while you're asleep, you can still make an attack. They have a 1% chance to do a super strong melee or ranged attack, or summon an ethereal ally. Not a huge benefit, but something to attempt instead of wasting my time. You can see what I'm putting down here, right? The Gambit raised its accuracy, and it almost wiped my team using those strong moves, while its partner kept extending the timers on sleep and Gambit. How cool is that? A combo where being asleep is almost viable. I've failed to put any jokes in the past few pages of the script because I'm so passionate about this battle system. I could go on about cool ideas and moves for at least 3 more pages. I like writing, but I hate recording, so I'll wrap up the combat section by talking about fusing. It's an epic ability where you and your partner fuse hearts and the cassette beasts become one. The lyrics of the battle song kick in and you know it's go time. You get double the action points per turn and have access to both your monster's attacks. This makes you super strong and gives you these unique mega attacks, but it isn't an automatic win button, which is nice. Having only one monster out means you can't use 2 attacks per turn, you can't capture a beast you're fighting, and your opponent can begin to stack hella debuffs on you. But that also means you can do it to them as well when they fuse. It's such a magnificent balancing act that requires actual thought, and I love it so much. This is the other reason the simple pun names are so genius, because the names combine as well, sometimes making a uniquely funny name and a creature combo that most players will miss. Here's a few, but there's literally thousands.
We got Lobsco, Moth Corpse, Artilla Tanker, Dive Time, Frilligig, Shark Rex, Shining Stain, and Wormlord.
Okay, now I'm done talking about how cool the battles are. Now I can walk you through the story. Wait, I forgot to tell you
Face down, we're not kidding around. What's that sound? Your pride hitting the ground, and I've come too far to let them down.
Fine, cut me off. I don't need to tell you about every mechanic. Same way I don't need to tell you about the whole story. Nor should I. It's a more gripping experience if you play it yourself. I summed up the plot hook earlier, but I'll add that there are a bunch of fun side quests and characters that keep the main 2 objectives paced extremely well, in my opinion. Including the 6 main partner characters that'll join you on your adventure, who have their own quest lines that build up their relationship and strength. Again, that isn't something I want to spoil, but if the Lord will allow me.
Go on.
I'd like to deliver a small ode to each of them to show my love and adoration. Kayleigh is the Bi Queen, who's the most compassionate and helpful companion I've ever had in an RPG, and all I could ever ask for. Eugene is passionate and daring to a fault. The world would be worse off without him, and I'm glad he's in mine. Felix is relatable and vulnerable, allowing us to see the side of him no artist wants to share. For that, I am grateful. Meredith was there. Viola is headstrong with the passion of 1,000 protagonists. My heart yearns for her success, as well as aches during her absence. Finally, Barkley is the bestest cassettist beast a boy could ever need. He will always be by my side. The writing is no insert amazing do like a boom 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 kind of game comparison. But the plot-centric events never left me confused, and the character dialogue was never in your face, stupid, or dull. In fact, there wasn't a single character I interacted with I didn't enjoy to some extent, which is rare for me. In the future, once I've 1,000,000%ed this game and I have some time to sit with it, I might do a spoiler-filled story retrospective. Or if this video gets 1,000,000 views. This has been going on for longer than I'm comfortable with, so let's just wrap up whatever else I have to say with the... First off in this section is the music. Now, any good game analysis would never put the game soundtrack in other stuff. But I, dear viewer, am a musical nonce, a soundless buffoon, a third other thing critiquing my lack of ability to understand music on a deeper level. If you want a deeper analysis, I'd watch... Oh man, there's not a lot of people talking about the music. You can watch this video by the guy who did the music, but that's about it. Shit. Someone should get on that. You know how in most RPGs, battle music you listen to time and time again, and it starts to get grating? You might start doing this. Well, in my time playing Cassette Beasts, it never became that. I always sang along with unapologetic spirit and joy.
Are you in need of assistance?
The only other turn-based RPG that gave me that feeling was my favorite one. Big surprise to nobody who's been here already, Pokemon Gale Darkness. Also Undertale. I think in Cassette Beast's case, the gaming-induced oil comes from the addition... gaming-induced oil? What did I mean by that? I think what I was trying to say is that the songs didn't feel like they were getting stale because they were reprised with vocals that hit just right. Shelby Harvey comes in during fusions or special battles and also just chills in the hub theme. It's always a pleasure to hear her voice, both in the calming and in the I'm gonna kick this clown's ass so hard it hurts for a week kind of way. It also has a plethora of calming and atmospheric background tracks such as New World Park and Knightsbridge Station that you expect in this type of game, except I'm appreciative of those two. I've been listening to the entire soundtrack while writing this, and there is such a nice range of songs. I adore every one of them, even if I'm partial to the vocal tracks. Also, for some reason, only a few of them are on Spotify, which sucks, and the YouTube playlist is missing one of the final boss's themes. If someone could fix that, that would be great. Thank you, like the video, haha. Oh, is that the shiny hunter I hear stepping into my comments section? Do they need something to do ad infinitum at the end of the game? Well, Cassette Beasts has you covered, and more. Bootlegs are like shiny Pokemon, but with a purpose. Along with the change in color, they also change their type and moveset, with an even greater chance of getting moves with extra attributes. I think they're super cool and a great take on the rare palette swap formula. The #1 compliment you can give a game's world design is describing it as fluid. And I can happily stick that to Cassette Beasts. I compared it to 2D Zelda before, and I think that is the second best compliment I could give it. There are tons of little dungeons and overworld puzzles to explore. Difficult areas are cut off by new abilities you get throughout exploration, but can be bypassed if you're a mega gamer and can skill your way through them. And the camping mechanic made me feel like I was only in danger if I wanted to be. My only critique would be that the day and night cycle didn't play enough of an influence on traversing the world. Overall, if you couldn't tell, this game is pretty great. I don't see a lot of fresh indie monster catchers that I can say that about. I adored the experience, and I encourage you to give it a try. Let's throw it back to Cameron for the end of the video. My final note, the thing I didn't think I was going to be capable of saying for at least another year. Cassette Beasts did the impossible. It got me to stop playing Baldur's Gate 3 every day. Thank you for watching.